We're very happy to have you back, even for a short visit.
Well, let's say this Twinkie represents the normal amount of psychokinetic energy in the New York area. According to this morning's sample, it would be a Twinkie 35 feet long, weighing approximately 600 pounds.
That's a big Twinkie.
We could be on the verge of a fourfold cross rip, a PKE surge of incredible, even dangerous proportions.
We just had a visit from the Environmental Protection Agency. How's the grid holding up?
It's not good.
Tell them about the Twinkie.
What about the Twinkie?
Recorded to you live from a fully licensed smokatorium in the heart of Mega City 1. This is the Wicked Theory Podcast. Yeah! Acoustic style.
Here we go.
Here we go. Man. So thanks for listening. This is the Wicked Theory Podcast. One day I'll be able to say it. Let's see who we got around the table. There's no Dom today. Oh, but we got Ed.
Hey.
Hey, and we got Brother Bob.
Hey, what's up?
Jamming on the acoustic today. Nice. Ooh. So yeah, we're back. We're doing some nerd stuff as usual. Hanging out and telling you all kinds of good nerdy stuff. Let's get the official business out of the way. This is episode 60.
60.
The big 6.
Wow.
Ooh. And
getting old.
Getting old, man.
Yeah.
I can't believe there's that many behind us, but
7 more years till Social Security.
oh shit. 7 more episodes.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
I don't really think it works that way, but still.
Yeah, still. Some kind of security.
We'll try. We'll file for it.
It may not be social security, but it's some kind. This episode, nothing too crazy special, but we are going to do some emails later on. We got some news coming up. And then if people want to follow us on Mixler, that would be cool. One of these days, I swear, we are going to go live while we record it, but it's not doing it today. We got thrown for a loop on a couple things. And then also, people want to check out Preacher vs. Preacher. That's our other podcast. We keep telling you about it. It's on Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play Music. You can follow us on that account on Twitter at Preach vs. Preach.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And, since we'll skip over the bantery shit.
Okay, fine.
I mean, we don't even really do that too much anyway.
No, we don't.
Not really. The closest we get is the Meanwhile section.
Meanwhile,
which is basically kind of where we kind of just throw in stuff that maybe we might have watched, seen, read during the last week or so, since we spoke to you guys at home last. And it's kind of like a little bit of a recommendation thing, or a heads up, maybe anti-recommendations.
Maybe.
Ed's got a couple though, I think, right?
Yeah. Well, one good thing, one hat thing. Which one do you want first?
Give us the hat.
Let's get the hat out of the way.
All
right.
The hat out of the way.
So you know me. I'm the cinephile of the group.
No way.
I go watch everything.
I want to say cinephile, but that's just me being obnoxious.
Sure.
Okay.
So the big giant mainstream movie released this week was
Independence Day 2.
Independence Day Resurgence.
Oh, I had it wrong. Yes. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's not a sequel. With that title, it can't be a sequel.
That's
right?
true. That's true.
And there's probably a colon in there somewhere.
Yeah, some kind of an umlaut or something.
Well, there's a sphincter involved, I understand, somewhere.
Probably. Yeah. So was
well, yeah.
Was it a hot mess?
That's the greatest line, the greatest unintentionally funny line is there's this group of African guerrillas.
Okay.
I'm sorry, African freedom fighters.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Guerrillas could have been a little confusing.
Yes. There's a slight spelling difference. Fair enough.
Which
kind of guerrillas?
In the years after the first attack, became adept at hunting aliens. And when the American bureaucrat goes up to the leader of these rebels and asks, "What's the best way to kill an alien?" And he says, "You have to take them from behind."
And does that get a lot of silly 6th grade giggles?
Well, the thing is, that's the resolution. Spoilers. That's the secret of the movie.
Oh no!
You want to take him out? You gotta hit him from behind.
You gotta tap him. You gotta tap that ass. Is that what's going on?
You gotta toss the salad.
Something like that. Do you have to do a reach around? Do you have to be a
No. Dead on.
Straight
into their behinds.
Straight into the buttocks, the sphincter?
Just the back somewhere.
Just somewhere on the back.
Yes.
We have to. That's the spinal cord for them, probably?
Yes.
Something like that?
You've got to pray they turn around and then just...
So what do you do? Like throw a rock when they're not looking, so they turn and then you
grab a beer bottle and throw it over their shoulder.
Some people use machetes. Some people use cold fusion bombs. Whatever gets the job done.
So, but this is a
Oi, look over there, mate.
This is only a physical. So this is when they're physically out of the ships and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
This is not a.
This
is not the starship has
to. That's like a theme for the movie.
Maybe it's a metaphor that he slipped in there on purpose. Maybe Emmerich is like.
So what you're telling me right now is that these ships have sphincters.
Yeah, they really. No.
Anyway, all right. So
but,
what's the?
How was the movie?
No, but so back to it.
That's
why it's in it.
Not so much.
Not so much.
Some of it was interesting. Some of it was cool to see with characters. The big problem is there are a lot of characters in this movie. And it's like it's not just like if it was one person who's like fun to hang out with.
Right.
There are, I would say, a good third of the characters and the storylines in this movie are completely extraneous. Like if you were to lift them out and we didn't see any of them, you would not miss anything, and they're not important to the main story.
So they're trying to sell it or make it feel like it's an ensemble piece.
Yeah.
But really, it's like a bunch of not really tightly connecting stories.
Yeah, and it's really just one like small group of people solving this problem, but because it's Independence Day, they have to show it on a global scale.
Right, so they're all in different locations, and it's all via emails and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I love Judd Hirsch as much as the next guy, but there's no reason for him to be in this movie.
Is he saving the day? That's what they should have done at the end. Judd Hirsch should have flown the jet.
But it's
well, they could have sacrificed the man at the very least.
At the very least.
Well, I mean, who was the sacrifice in the first one? What's his name? Quaid, Randy Quaid.
Randy Quaid.
Yeah.
So let him be the sacrifice.
Judd Hirsch just drives his taxi straight into the eye of the storm, whatever it is.
Yeah, and the thing was, it's very similar to Jurassic World and Star Wars: The Force Awakens in the fact that it is just a repackaging of the original.
Okay. And we've seen how that can be sometimes good, sometimes bad.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's so obvious.
It's too much.
And the new characters that they introduce are just not interesting. Just
very vanilla.
And it's not that they're bad acting; it's that they just weren't given that much to work with.
Yeah, there's only so much, and that's kind of like the whole thing with Independence Day is that like if you hadn't gotten Will Smith and maybe some other people who were charismatic enough to lift that shit up, it was just an explosion spectacle.
Yeah.
So
it sounds like too that you're saying that there's like a bunches of little stories which make up the whole. Mm-hmm. So, but new characters need time to develop. If you're not, that sounds like they just didn't give anybody really time to develop.
Maybe
it's all pockets of story.
Yeah. It's all spread out,
and it's also a sense of purpose. Like there's not enough interweaving. Like almost like a Seinfeld episode where Kramer would be doing something completely different from the rest of it, but still at the end, what Kramer was doing ends up solving Jerry's problem. You know what I mean?
Right. There wasn't something that's somewhere like you can see the progression of the key thing that's needed to save the day, like just even if it's just that being spread.
Yeah.
Till it gets to like Bill Paxton and he gets on the TV and tells the whole world what
to
do.
Yeah.
Right. It goes up the chain kind of a thing. Now I want to see Seinfeld Independence Day. I want to see like just everybody replacing that.
Yeah.
And Jerry's like the president. I don't get it. What are we gonna do?
Yeah,
all that shit.
And the other thing that's missing is this movie needed Will Smith.
It needed a charismatic person. That's what I'm saying.
They try getting Jesse T. Usher to play his son, and Liam Hemsworth is in it. But
he's playing his other son. Everybody's a son of Will Smith. We're just hoping somebody likes these guys.
Well, he's the handsome white guy in the movie.
Well, aren't they all?
Yeah.
Aren't they all if they're guys and they're white?
Like he filled in that part of the checklist.
Oh, I got you. Hunk.
Yeah.
Right. It's pretty much like they thought. Shit. Forget it.
Mm-hmm.
Can't call it. Can't recall it.
Yeah. For those of you wondering, this is 2 American Taco.
2 out of 5.
Yes.
Possible. American tacos.
2, and it's barely 2.
And it's barely 2.
So it's kind of like you'd eat the second one, but you might throw it up later.
Yeah, maybe.
And feel better about it afterwards. Yeah. All right, so what was the other thing you saw?
The other thing is a really good TV show I've started watching.
Okay.
On CBS called Braindead.
This comes, I think, Brian Hughes. Somebody on my Twitter was, or in the Shumway group on the side was telling us check it out.
Oh yeah, definitely check this out. It stars Mary Elizabeth Winstead. It's created by Michelle and Robert King, who also brought you The Good Wife.
Okay.
But the basic premise is that she works. She's a caseworker for her brother, who's a senator.
Okay.
And slowly you understand that a lot of members of Congress are being controlled by alien ants. These bugs are crawling into their brains, taking them over, and now there's this government shutdown that's going on, and it's all these weird goings on in Congress, and you realize that they actually are being mind controlled.
Now, how is it?
So it's basically sounds like
Invasion of the Congress Snatchers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's very dry. It's a comedy.
Okay, that's what I was going to get to. Is that I thought there was a level of quirk to it because I did see something about it. So I wanted to make sure that that's what's going on.
It's very quirky. Tony Shalhoub, who's in it, and he plays this like dyed-in-the-wool conservative. You know, I'm going to have my I'm going to have my guns and I'm going to just start drinking heavily. Right. And all of a sudden, he just shows up one day. And he really likes 80s music, and he only eats organic.
Oh boy, he took a hard turn, real hard turn. No more meat.
Yeah, he's turning down wine.
Wow.
No booze.
No booze.
He's living straight edge, baby.
Wow. I don't even think that's Democrat. I think that's something else.
And stuff is going on.
That sounds like a libertarian, actually.
But even I will tell you, the reason to watch this, the reason I'm watching it, is the recaps at the beginning of new episodes are sung.
Okay.
Like someone's playing an acoustic guitar and it's like and they're actually
Jim went
singing
down
through the
and
recap.
he did this thing and then Sue was there and then this happened and this happened.
But it's a lot more fun than that.
Well, of course. I'm winging it.
Hopefully.
This is the pitch that guy did though, when he told everybody else in the writer's room. No, seriously, it'll be great.
But you don't even,
okay, but we'll not let you sing it.
I would even say if you're not sure about it, don't watch episode 2 first.
Just for the
recap.
For the recap, and that'll tell you not only how much fun that little piece, the recaps are,
but what kind of show this is.
Right, exactly. And you'll actually get a recap of episode 1. All right, I like. Now I have to watch. If someone had told me that before, I would definitely have been sold already. I like it. So in the meanwhile, did you have anything else on that?
No, what's up with you, Bill?
Not a whole lot. I was just I put in that Tales from the Crypt comic book came out. Tales from the Darkside rather comic book came out. I apologize, Bob. I was supposed to bring it home from work and I didn't.
I read it.
You did. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, I didn't think it was absolutely super amazing, but it was good for what it's supposed to be. Like
Crypt Keeper.
Well, no, it was Tales from the Darkside. No Crypt Keeper.
Sort of in that Amazing Stories, Twilight Zone.
Yeah, which is where it's supposed to be. I thought maybe they might end up going a little bit more horror edge because that was always the thing with Tales from the Darkside. It was supposed to be you thought it was going to be more horror-esque version of Twilight Zone type stuff, and usually it was.
What everyone wanted Night Gallery to be.
Right. And also, too, Tales from the Darkside. Tales from the Darkside, that the opening theme was just so fucking scary and creepy, you couldn't live up to it. You know what I mean? It was one of those things, but the theme song is the best part of the show.
Let me tell you, 70s and 80s TV nerds are cream in their pants right now.
Or yelling at us because we're wrong somehow.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, that's a 4-issue miniseries written by Joe Hill, who is actually Stephen King's son, and done with the same artist. I'm going to butcher his name if I say it. But the two of them did Lock and Key, which is a house favorite. One of the other things that to note is if you are a fan of Lock and Key, Joe Hill just announced that in comics form, they're going to go back to the well a little bit and do a mini-series about one of these secondary kind of characters, a small mini-series.
Sorry, Gabriel Rodriguez was the artist.
I was going to say Raphael something, and I knew it was just going to be me whiting it up, being mighty white.
Les Nessman.
They very, very. I need to be less Les Nessman.
You'll have to let people dig up that reference.
Yeah, there you go. There's a reference for you kids.
Do your homework, people.
So with that, that's really all I got. So I guess we'll roll into the news.
All right.
News is good stuff. It's good stuff. Nice. All acoustic special this week. All right. So
we got a packed news week.
We do got a packed news week. Let's try and burn through them a little bit. We got a couple that we can definitely linger on. But up front is that Flash is officially going to be FlashPoint. When it comes back in season 3, the FlashPoint miniseries is was a turning point and a big one for DC Comics.
Yes. Now let's just hope this doesn't turn into a TV version of the New 52.
Well, you're definitely getting a TV version of FlashPoint, which is one of the things where I'm like, take it easy, nerds, because it's not going to be the FlashPoint you want it to be or think it's going to be.
It's probably going to be Civil War and like Civil War. The movie was the Civil War of the comic
exactly.
series.
It's it's this to that in that regard. It's not going to be the same thing, but they're going to call it that anyway, because the starting point is the same.
Yes,
relatively speaking.
Yeah, and the basic concept behind FlashPoint is that Barry Allen wakes up one day and all of a sudden realizes he doesn't have his powers and he doesn't know how that happened.
Right.
And everything in the world around him is nothing like he remembered it.
Right.
That's really all you need to know for FlashPoint.
Yeah.
And so basically that one act that we saw at the end of season 2, we're going to see the ramifications of that.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see how they might end up tying into the other shows on CW, if they do it all.
Yeah.
And maybe those tie-ins will really only exist, on Flash.
Yeah, but it does kind of sound like, for the series' sake, that the only way for Flash to fix all this is to go back and kill his mom.
Basically, to undo what he undid. Yeah, that's the problem with.
So,
yeah.
Now he's gonna have that trauma.
But here's the thing: how do you undo what you've now undone? You know what I mean? Like he's changed it linearly. Like he can't now go back and completely unchange that.
Yeah, but did we ever account for all the Flashes running around that room
17.
last time?
We counted 17 at the last.
But did we account for them all? Counting them all is not accounting for them all, like where they were from.
This sounds like math shit again. Not doing it. Math and time travel? Go fuck yourself. Okay. But anyway, so we're jazzed about that. It's going to be an interesting spin because we've been talking off mic, or maybe even on here, just that Flash was starting to get to the point where it was, the rhythm was getting repetitive. And
it's always coming back to mom and...
Yeah,
Speed Force
and we'll just see how they play with it because it's just like every season is going to be a speedster villain is the big villain. I'm starting to feel a little repetitive.
It is kind of superhero stuff.
That's the thing with
the nature of it is it kind of
you're forced
perpetuates. It kind of perpetuates its own thing.
It's the as Stanley used to say, you can't change anything. But you have to create the illusion of change.
It's right, exactly. But it's a thing as far as villains go, where the villain tends to be just as powered.
Yeah. In
that same power base or whatever, like what I mean. Batman's greatest villain is actually a mental games villain. It's Joker or it's Riddler, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right.
But then with physical heroes, it's like, Superman's got to fight superpowered dudes. Right. Otherwise, him beating up Lex Luthor all the time is kind of an easy win, like, this kind of thing. But then Flash has got to be fighting against speedsters because they'll just take everybody else out in a heartbeat. So over into comics, just a real quick heads up for anybody who's a fan of Fables. Fables is also kind of going to come back with a miniseries. I didn't really read the original series of Fables. It's one of those ones I do want to kind of check out. I think I did pick up like a free or $1 copy of the first issue.
Yeah,
a reprint.
It's one of those things. Unfortunately, I have not gotten into Fables because it's one of those things. It's a Vertigo title.
It's lauded. People love it.
Yes, it's the kind of thing that people who are into it really love it.
Yeah,
and everyone probably should read it, but. I think there's like 15 trades.
Yeah, it's a long running one. It's a long runner.
Like 150 issues. To get into that,
and a lot of side stuff too. But I think a lot of the side stuff, is still written by the original. I forget Bill Willingham.
Willingham.
And And also, too, like, so if you're a fan, like, if you're into comics on the fringe a little bit, but you liked Once Upon a Time, the ABC series.
Yeah, Once Upon a Time was pretty much it's very convenient.
Well, there's that whole story about how this all happened, yeah.
Fables was in development at ABC.
Mm-hmm.
And then for some reason it got mothballed. Mm-hmm. And the very next year, they came up with this pilot called Once Upon a Time, where all of the fairy tale heroes come to life in this one town.
You know?
It's very, very convenient.
Yeah, very convenient. Well, what's great about Fables is that it's played for a much more, well, not a much more, but definitely a mature audience.
Yeah.
And a realism that feels realism, as opposed to probably a lot of the stuff. And I don't say that from experience, from full knowledge, but a lot of the stuff that supposedly kind of goes on Once Upon a Time, where it gets a little soap opera-y and a little bit...
and there's no Disney bent to it.
Right. Well, that's the thing, too, is that over a while, it just, from hearing about it, you know, by happenstance, was like, oh my God, it just sounds like they're just going to shoehorn in every Disney princess that there is. And it's like, yeah, that's basically what it turned into. Mm-hmm. So I just want to give a heads up and a recommendation for people to check out Fables in general if you haven't. Also, Dave Sim, creator of Cerebus, is reviving that character for a main series run because he probably just needs a little bit of cash.
300 series,
300
issues was not enough.
Probably not. No, I guess not. My thinking is
life's
also
work effort wasn't enough.
Yeah, but he hasn't really done a lot else.
Yeah,
that's making him money.
Yeah, well, Cerebus is a very eclectic.
Yeah, we got to talk to our buddy Waffle Jones over at Comic Book Jones, because this is his favorite character, or one of his. I think it's between this and Madman.
Okay, fair enough.
Like one of his favorite.
Yeah, I'm a big Cerebus fan myself.
Yeah, him telling a story of just sitting in Jim Hanley's universe, trapped there for like 2 weeks, just reading
all the telephone books, as they call them. So one of the things that was an issue, kind of like a bone of contention for me, was that the individual issues usually only ended up being about 8 pages of story, and the rest of the issue as it went on. So he was making it a little easy for himself to hit the 300 issue mark. But
yeah, it got to be very ranty.
A little bit ranty, and
the characters would just go on and on and
on.
One particular thing before it'd be like 2 pages long, and then you'd get to the end of the point. And
you know, and not, I don't know. It's one of these things where I guess any project is kind of like, when it's a passion project, can be a little bit hit or miss, but. You know, it's a beautiful looking series after a while, because once it all kind of settles into its groove. But anyway, 4-issue miniseries. It's going to kind of, I don't know, I read one of the descriptions, and it kind of seemed like it was getting a little bit, you know, current in a way where it'll touch on some current stuff. My only issue about the issues is it going to be more than 8 pages of content per issue?
Right.
Which I'm hoping it's going to be at least 20.
Well, he's had some time to think about it.
That's what I'm saying. He's been cooking on this one for a while.
Is he clean? Is
he clean? I don't know. Is he making enemies? No. Dave Sim's always stirring something up. I always.
I got the impression that the artist, the writer, was very much like the main character.
Yeah, if you asked him what he thought,
very thirsty and opinionated.
Definitely opinionated. Let me tell you, that's what the rest of the issue would fill out. Remember, I told you it was like only 8 pages. The rest of that shit was usually him going on diatribes. In movies, Bryan Cranston,
Walter White himself.
He's gonna cook crystal meth for the Power Rangers, I think.
He's playing Zordon.
Why?
Well, here's the thing. I'm not big on Power Rangers lore, so I don't know what level of bad guy Zordon is.
Oh no, Zordon's not the bad guy. Zordon is the.
So I thought too, Bill.
Listen, with a name like Zordon, you got to be bad.
Zordon's the godlike creature who gave the Power Rangers their powers.
Well, now it all makes sense.
Okay.
Now he's the wizard. I got you. Now it all makes sense. Okay, I like it. I guess.
But why? He's done so much good stuff.
Well,
grandkids maybe? I don't know.
Because at his heart, Bryan Cranston is a character actor. And the one thing about character actors is they can't say no.
Like, am I going to be able to, like if they can picture themselves doing it and, like, turning it on and being able to sink in and get deep, then they're going to do it.
This is a guy who busted his ass for 25-30 years doing guest spots on TV shows,
Broadway, a lot of stage.
Stage shows, like doing independent movies, being the bit part. He was
cutting his teeth.
He was Jerry Seinfeld's dentist.
I think,
I remember that.
And I think there was a point, like right before Malcolm in the Middle, like he was kind of maybe not giving it up, but he was in that place in his head where it's like, is it time? Maybe, if I remember correctly from some interviews I've seen.
Yeah, he was going back and forth. I think he was raising money for his wife to direct an independent movie.
Right.
And he's made it big, but he's still got that mentality of, you know what? This could all go away in a second. I've got to be working and making money, and if I got a month free, and these guys want to pay me for it,
they want to pay me for 5 days, or whatever, X amount of money, and and he's not a kid, so he might be looking at things like, if I work a bunch right now,
you would think that he's kind of breaking out of the character actor mold, with Walter White and everything he's kind of been doing since then, and now he's got to.
And you know what? He's half a nut, too. So, he might just be looking at it like it's a hoot. Like, you know what I mean? Because, I don't know. I've just heard so many stories of him on set.
You think he's at that point in his life, in his career, where he just doesn't give a fuck?
Yeah.
What the hell? Let me do it. It'll be fun.
Yeah. He sees some kind of humor in it or some kind of fun.
Fear.
Yeah, no fear. He's like, oh, this will be interesting. This will be fun. The costume looks interesting.
You know what? Go
maybe.
for it.
Plus, also, if you remember the original Power Rangers, I'm going to show Bill and Bob a picture now. This is what Zordon looked like.
Oh, my God. He could do that through Skype.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a Skype session.
It's literally just an image of him projected on a white screen.
He literally is the wizard from The Wizard of Oz.
It's a face.
It's a face on a wall.
That's right. It was the one that talked to him in the old.
He doesn't
the
even have to
series.
leave the fucking house for this one.
Yeah.
Jesus, you can do that from the car.
That's why he did it. He was like, it's easy money.
Yeah. How many? 4 million? Okay, yeah, I'm good. I'm
sure.
there. So then I was going to take this one out because I don't know how much it's really a big deal, but this next Kong, the King Kongs.
Ooh.
The Skull Island movie that's coming. It's going to feature the biggest King Kong ever. Are we able to quantify how big that actually is? I didn't click on this one because I almost took it out of the notes.
I always figured he was like 30 feet tall.
Seems about that on average. I mean,
30, 35, 40. I mean,
okay. He's not 10 feet tall. He's not 30 feet tall.
Oh,
okay.
He's 100 feet tall.
That is a big gorilla.
Okay, that's a big gorilla.
Now,
but how do you find enough bananas to feed him every day?
Yeah, I'm wondering, though, how big he was in that last one where it was the Peter Jackson.
Jack Black. I think he kind of stuck to the scale.
I mean,
the previous scale.
Yeah,
no, he was probably 30 feet tall.
Yeah,
because you figure he could still climb the Empire State Building.
Right. Now he can just
kind of like stroll up it.
He can just snap it in half like it's rip it out of the ground like it's a tree.
Yeah, and the other thing you got to remember is they're setting up Kong because we've got the King Kong versus Godzilla movie coming down the pike.
So we have to make him
for that one.
We can't make him the same size as Godzilla, but we've got to at least somehow make it even.
He's got to be a skyscraper height.
Yeah.
It's got to be man in suit is what it comes down to. It's got to be we can have two guys in suits. Mm-hmm. Even if one's like it's just a sixth grader.
Even if he's a fourth of the size, but he could be, this wily gorilla who just keeps jumping on top of him and punching him in the head. It's gotta look plausible that even if though he's the underdog, that he might have a fighting chance.
Although I do want to kind of see.
Well, no one cared when the first time around when Godzilla was the same height as King Kong.
Oh, that was in the '60s movie. That's a weird movie.
Yeah.
We won't talk about this now, but anyone wants a trip, go research the original King Kong versus Godzilla. Yeah. There's some.
I only saw it like 12
behind
times growing up because it was on Channel 5 like every other weekend.
There's some nutty behind the scenes shit.
Yeah,
right?
like that was originally King Kong meets Frankenstein, and then they had a chance to jump at a license. And things
boy!
Yeah.
All right.
Yep, that's all you need.
I want Godzilla meets the Mummy. I don't know why, but I just think that'll be interesting. All right, so from there we are going to jump into something that we can probably go on a little bit about. But Justice League, much to everybody's chagrin, and I think everybody probably already, all you super nerds already know. But Justice League logo and the synopsis came out earlier in the week, and it's official. The name of the movie is Justice League.
Mm-hmm. May I read the synopsis?
Please do.
Fueled by his restored faith in humanity and inspired by Superman's selfless act, Bruce Wayne enlists the help of his newfound ally, Diana Prince, to face an even greater enemy. Together, Batman and Wonder Woman work quickly to find and recruit a team of metahumans to stand against this newly awakened threat. But despite the formation of this unprecedented League of Heroes, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Cyborg, and the Flash, it may already be too late to save the planet from an assault of catastrophic proportions.
Ooh.
So yeah.
Nice. Well done.
Mm-hmm.
Do you need a drink or a lozenge?
No, I think I'm good. How about that logo?
Fucking awesome. How about simple? Keeping it
So
simple.
basically, Bruce is going to get Alfred to send out some invites.
Yeah, it's basically like Master Bruce is having a party. Would you like to come?
Yeah.
Bring your... I screwed it up.
Well, anyway.
Bring your jumpsuit.
There you go.
Yeah, you could. This is the
Alfred
kind of
will
thing,
do your laundry.
Yeah, you could
Bring your spandex.
You could silk screen this on like a windbreaker.
Oh my god, I could just the logo is so basic, which is fine.
That's exactly what this movie needs.
That's what we need as a symbol of like, okay, we're stripping it down, we're keeping it easy. We don't need a 3D floating block of steel, like every other logo is right now for these kinds of movies.
With the clanging soundtrack behind
It's just white on black. It's just white text on a black background.
I
Simple.
gotta tell you, I think we're turning over a new leaf. I think this is going to be good.
I think it's going to be good. Did you happen to read...
I think DC has to make a statement with this movie that's going to keep it as far away from the last movie as possible.
Yeah.
And this does it.
I have a sickness, folks.
So on birthmoviesdeath.com, Devin Faraci put up an article of that. He went to the set and got to take a tour of the set.
A lot of people went to the set. A lot of news coming out of this.
This week, a lot of people got to go on set visits. And they all got the same kind of gist coming out of it. Like, yeah, there's some fucking course correction going on here, folks. So if you're looking for the lighter stuff, not fluffy, not but
well, I definitely got that impression just from seeing the one or two trailers that they've been putting out, especially whenever you see what's her face on screen. They got that la 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 la.
Suicide Squad?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. But I mean, visually, like even with that movie, that's a dark movie. Like as far as visual tone,
they're trying to go. That's a lot more fun.
Yeah, but that was still conceived and built
one.
right. But that was still built and conceived under the Age of Darkness that was the Batman versus Superman era, in a sense. And now Snyder's like on the set of now this Justice League movie. Snyder's like, I get it. I kind of dropped the ball on the last one, or I went a little too dark.
I want to keep making movies, so I'll listen.
I'll take studio notes because I have to. But anyway, it's all great stuff. It's all good stuff. And unless there's something else on that, Ed, we're going to jump to the next one.
Go for
it. Carl Urban reportedly confirmed that too. He confirms that Judge Dredd 2 is in development. But you made a good point earlier on, which is that...
in development could mean anything.
Yes, any phase. It means a conversation. It might mean
basically
they hire a writer.
We're doing what we have to do to keep the license active.
Yeah, no.
At bare minimum.
Yeah, development thing means we are thinking about paying somebody to write something. They're not writing anything yet.
Right. We had a conversation about having more conversations.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. So that means.
Very least.
So that means it's a possibility. It's on the table.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm excited for it.
There's a possibility that there's a chance that something might
happen.
Yeah. And let's remember, in the world of Hollywood, 98% of these stories don't end up becoming a movie.
Yeah, they just kind of stay stories.
But it's still good to know because Dredd was a great movie.
Yes.
That was quite overlooked due to just bad marketing.
Just not enough marketing behind it, not enough push for whatever reason. But totally worth your time. So that's exciting for me, and then maybe exciting for some other people. Not me, but I like it in general. Is that Forrest Whitaker? All this week, Rogue One, Star Wars information was coming out.
Rogue One Overkill this week.
Yeah. So Entertainment Weekly had the scoop on all these images and pictures that were they were plastering. Because, well, not them, but like everybody else on every single nerd site on the internet goes crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And they had a lot more than are in this issue that I have here. Although there are some great pictures. We got to see some Death Troopers, which is a new thing, even though this is a retro movie.
Like the regular stormtroopers don't kill, right?
Well, basically, it's a regular stormtrooper in a black suit. Basically, is what you're getting. It looks a little Star Warsy meets Call of Duty.
There's also kind of a Battlestar Galactica feel to that too.
A little bit.
Just missing a little, little red light going back.
And then there's a picture here of some regular white stormtroopers, basically just going, wading in some water, just kind of cooling down, chilling.
Hey, how come the black stormtroopers don't have white where the white stormtroopers have black? They're just like jet black,
No, that's a good question. Why isn't it just reversed?
Yeah, why not make it reversed so you have like an outline on them?
And that kind of would
Make
fit
them pop,
the whole shitty thinking behind the Star Wars clones and stuff like that, where it's like, oh, we made stealth guys, but we have all these spots of white on them. It's like it's like worst ninja ever. You know what I mean? It's like, all right,
because it looks like a ninja with a sign on his head that says, "Here I am."
Well, basically, because that's like the Star Wars stormtrooper thing is like, yeah, we have all these soldiers who can't shoot. It's that lack of thing.
Yeah, we have fodder.
But so basically, they've announced that the Forrest Whitaker's character, though, is one of the characters from Clone Wars, the animated series.
Saw Gerrera,
obviously older than he was in that series, all grown up. But it's just one of the first signs that they actually are really, going to be using everything now. Yeah. It's all really going to tie in. It's all going to be canon, and it's not just that, oh yeah, that happened. Okay, but it's like, no, well, we're going to bring,
everything's going to have a reason.
That's animated, but we are going to bring, those characters to life when we can. It all counts.
Right. Now I got to watch the Clone Wars.
Damn it, I was just starting to watch Rebels.
Yeah, all right. And that's after, George Lucas, who originally owned all this, saying when he had the Clone Wars coming out, oh, this is just a side thing. This is not going to matter.
The only things that they kept was Rebels is the one that's hard continuity, though, right?
Yes, yeah, Rebels is in.
But now it seems like, even though they were like, okay, Rebels counts, the books count, and everything else moving forward counts. These particular novels.
No. The movies that we've seen counts, and I believe it was Rebels. And
anything new going forward.
All of the books and comic books before Disney bought them are out.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. The only thing pre-Disney that holds are the movies and the Rebels show as hard continuity.
Rebels started with Disney. That was Disney's first Star Wars project.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. My fault then. Okay, I wasn't sure on that then. Okay, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, because Rebels has only been around for like 1 or 2 seasons.
Okay, I thought that was pre-existing a little bit. Okay, but cool. But even still, so it's not just that those characters are going to pop up, you know what I mean, or be like referenced in name only, but they, you'll see them. Well, it works with this because of the time, this is 30 years ago and shit like that, and the timelines, it all works out. It's nice. It's cool. All right, here now. That's the hard sigh of a sci-fi fan. So now CBS has kind of finally come out and just CBS/Paramount kind of laid down the law for Star Trek-based fan films.
It's over, folks.
And fan productions.
Just stop.
Now, one of the things that kicked this off and made this whole thing happen, if you're not aware, I don't remember the name of the series.
Axanar,
which is basically a continuation of the original series made by fans, which is so well done and has been so beloved that over time it's gotten writers that used to work on the original series and actors that used to work on the original series.
Is this the one that's done by the guys who used to be involved with Mythbusters?
I don't know.
The Grant from Mythbusters is involved with one of these guys.
It might be. It might be. But I know it's the kind of thing like George Takei and Walter Koenig have made guest stars on that show.
I've seen a couple of them that they've been on.
And the real thing that spurred this lawsuit is they had a Kickstarter and they raised over $1 million. So
so the series that was going on, they wanted to make this movie within their little world, and that kind of triggered Paramount being like, whoa, we're taking you to court now it's gotten out of control. So since then, Paramount's like, okay, we know what we'll do. We'll figure out a set of rules and parameters that will allow fans to still create content, and they won't have to worry about us coming after them.
Okay.
A safe zone, if you will.
Oh,
Ed?
Wow, gee, that's nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Ed, you have some of these parameters, maybe.
I have these guidelines, baby.
Okay.
I'm going to give you some cliff notes, but we're gonna run down the basic gist of each of them, which is Number one. Mm-hmm. There are 10 of these.
Okay.
Number one. The fan production must be less than 15 minutes for a single self-contained story, or no more than 2 segments, episodes, or parts, not to exceed 30 minutes total, with no additional seasons, episodes, parts, sequels, or remakes.
So, like...
Individual, standalone, 15-minute episodes you can make, basically.
You can tell lawyers wrote this.
Yes.
Speaking,
this is so...
Speaking as the son of a lawyer.
Yeah, son of a lawyer. But, yeah, all right, so...
Well, let's go through all these.
We'll come back at the end.
Number 2. Mm-hmm. The title of the fan production or any parts cannot include the name Star Trek. However, the title must contain a subtitle with the phrase, a Star Trek fan production in plain typeface.
Okay, just real... Okay.
The fan production cannot use the term official in either its title or subtitle or in any marketing, promotions, or social media for the fan production.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
Number 3, the content in the fan production must be original, not reproductions, recreations, or clips from any Star Trek production. If non-Star Trek third-party content is used, all necessary permissions for any third-party content should be obtained in writing. Number 3. Number 4. If the fan production uses commercially available Star Trek uniforms, accessories, toys, and props, these items must be official merchandise and not bootleg items or imitations of such commercially available products.
Okay.
5. The fan production must be a real, quote-unquote, fan production,
right.
i.e., creators, actors, and all other participants must be amateurs, cannot be compensated for their services, and cannot be currently or previously employed on any Star Trek series, films, productions of DVDs, or with any of CBS or Paramount Pictures licensees. Number 6, the fan production must be non-commercial. So there's a whole long list, but the basic thing here is that they cannot raise more than $50,000 for this project if they do any kind of crowdfunding. And the moment they hit that $50,000 goal, they have to cease accepting money.
Right.
It can only be shown. It can only be shown via streaming services that people don't have to pay for.
Right. And
it cannot generate any revenue. And it cannot be distributed in physical formats like DVDs or Blu-rays or VHSs if you still have those. Fan production cannot be used to derive advertising revenue, including but not limited to, though, for example, pre or post-roll advertising. So basically, they can't make any money off of it.
Yeah.
And no unlicensed Star Trek related or fan production related merchandise or services can be offered for sale. So they can't use it to sell anything else.
That's still number 6?
Yeah, and the fan production cannot derive revenue by selling or licensing fan-created production sets.
So the bottom line is, but they can't make money off it.
They can't, yes.
All right, so next one.
Yeah, number 7, the fan production must be family-friendly and suitable for public presentation. Videos must not include profanity, nudity, obscenity, pornography, depictions of drug, alcohol, tobacco, or any harmful or illegal activity or any material that is offensive, fraudulent, defamatory, libelous, disparaging, sexually explicit, threatening, hateful, or any other inappropriate content. The content of the fan
Not
production.
a big deal, because they can make up their own friggin' languages, and they can drink synthahol.
The content of the fan production cannot violate any individual's right of privacy. Number 8, the fan production must display the following disclaimer in the on-screen credits of the fan productions and on any marketing material, including the fan production website or page hosting the fan production. Star Trek and all related marks, logos, and characters. Basically, it's a description saying that Paramount isn't responsible for this.
Okay.
Number 9, creators of fan productions must not seek to register their works nor any elements of the works under copyright or trademark law.
Okay.
And number 10, fan productions cannot create or imply any association or endorsement by CBS or Paramount Pictures.
All right, so some of these things, like they actually are in line with what we always knew in the back of our head was kind of like, what you were violating.
Right. Yeah.
With doing these kinds of things.
Yeah. The one thing I don't actually agree with is the length requirement. Well, I mean that's a big thing with me because then you're limiting creativity.
Yeah.
In defense of characters, which you're telling them they can basically use, a universe which they can basically use. You know what I mean? Although not really, you can use it, but you can't use it.
You can, but you can't. You can't, but you kind of can, but you can't.
And also the other thing that really bugs me is the whole merchandise thing.
Yeah,
the fact that if someone wanted to make their own costume, or they can't use a knockoff. It has to be official.
Yeah,
Star Trek.
They have to, It's okay for you know what? We want to make sure that we can make whatever money we can off of you doing your thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But we want you to do your thing in any way that's going to make you any kind of money.
Right.
Yeah. And the thing to me, this is exactly the opposite mentality of Lucas, who actually makes stock footage and audio clips available to fans to use for fan films.
It's just crazy.
And to me, I think these guys took it a little too far in making it an original series. But to me, this is the kind of thing like when I was in high school, if my buddies and I decided, you know what, let's make a Star Trek fan film.
Yeah, but in all fairness, back then you wouldn't have been able to do what you can do now.
You can do with it now.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if a couple of high schoolers who are really big Star Trek fans and want to get into making movies and are just trying to get their feet wet, decide let's do a Star Trek thing, they can't put it on YouTube now without fear of getting legal action.
Yeah, which technically, for those who don't know, on YouTube you always were facing that anyway. But the point being that it's just funny to me that they'll what was number 2 again? What was the second one?
Oh, that was the whole. You can't call it Star Trek, but the subtitle has to be a Star Trek fan production.
Okay, I thought I had a bone with that, but actually I don't mind that because
you put the title first.
Yeah, that's all. That works out for me because it still has Star Trek in it.
Yeah,
and I think that still works. It's just you can't call it Star Trek :
Yeah, it kind of does separate it to being a fan thing, which is fine.
Yeah,
I think the people making it, they're going to want that too.
Yeah, I don't really have a bone with that one. I thought it was something else, but I think the gist is overall that while some people are kind of feeling like this is a death knell, I think it's just going to force people to be more creative within the confines of these parameters.
I mean, art thrives on restrictions, but I just feel like it feels kind of stupid that we got to this point.
It feels like they're not really, being as nice as we'd like them to be. You know what I mean? I think Bob's got a good point with the time limit thing. I think that's the only real one. It seems like, you're kind of
constricting. It's the only thing that's really constricting.
Yeah, you're kind of throwing down the one thing that
it is kind of.
It's not that's not about the rights or the manipulation of what their ability is to do with anything of their own over at Paramount. It's like, why does the length of time matter to them? Why is that a factor? What is it? Because
I think now that you're talking about it, I'm thinking that maybe it's just in order to restrict them from being able to make anything that they could be packaged together as a movie.
Yeah, I think
if you did an anthology kind of style, you could do 3 short stories in a movie.
Right.
No one's going to sit through 6 or 7 15-minute little shorts that you can't put enough story in 15 minutes.
And I forgot to that's the other thing too, that everything has to be a standalone. Because that was what it was, right?
Yeah,
that's what it comes down to. Everything has to be its own thing every episode. So you would end up doing
there are dozens of ongoing Star Trek web series.
But here's the thing, though. So what constitutes as that? So let's say I come up with my own ship inside of Star Trek, right? I want to do about, the Defiant, but not the Defiant. I'll have to make up some other ship. So whatever it is,
The Trinity.
The SS sinking fast. Then this thing's got a crew. So my thing is that, can I get around this by doing 15-minute short things on each member of the crew?
No. Well, you could do it on one member of the crew.
But his story is not tied to anybody else's story.
Yeah, they can't interact with anyone else on the ship who you've already done a movie about.
So once they're so I can't even have them in the background, probably.
No,
you always have to create new characters.
So
yeah, I mean, I'll read it again.
I'll just so you know what? I gotta work around.
Yeah,
I gotta work around. So just every episode, whoever it's about, that dude dies. That dude dies.
Yeah, 15 minutes.
It's the worst. It's the unluckiest ship.
It has to be
the story of the red shirts.
A single self-contained story, or no more than 2 segments, episodes or parts, not to exceed 30 minutes in total. No additional seasons, episodes, parts, sequels, or remake. So,
right,
you can't say I'm doing a 10-episode season. You have to do 5 little 2-episode things that are not.
You got to do 2 in a 30-minute episode.
And then you have to
do
change
2
the name of the
stories,
ship.
and then you got to do your season. So you'd have to do 10 or whatever it is. You'd have to do 10 or 20 of those 30-minute things.
Yeah, but if there's
you can't do a season.
Yeah, but there's any
you can't package them that way.
If there's any way they can see that as a sequel, because sequel means a continuation.
Fuck. There's a bunch of dicks. All right. Let's move it along,
man.
No, and I was totally agree. I totally agree. It's just it's amazing that they're trying to still placate that. Like, no, but we're leaving you wiggle room, and it's like, you're just dicks.
No, you know what? They're really not now. Now that we're going through it, it seems a lot more restrictive than at first glance.
They're making it so hard that people are just going to not bother trying.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's just do Star Wars or Doctor Who instead.
Yeah, it's like because now every time you sit there in a writer's session or whatever, you got to have this fucking giant breakdown on the wall and be like, okay, does this conflict with any of that? Yep, it conflicts with everything. Okay, throw it out.
Yeah. So I'm in college and I decided I'm gonna make a fan movie, and now I got to hire a fucking copyright lawyer to cover my ass.
You know what you're gonna do? You're gonna make a fan movie of something else.
Yeah,
that's what you're gonna do.
Exactly.
That's what you're gonna do.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Or this is what I was saying to you on the phone the other night was that, or you go, you know what? Fuck this. I'll just make up my own story. Maybe. I'll make up my own sci-fi story about a ship, and it's just you know what? And I'll just take out. When we do it, we make it. It just doesn't look like Star Trek at all. Yeah. Fuck it, Yeah.
Well, maybe what they need to do is they could start off by making the 115-minute one that's called "Fuck You," a Star Trek fan film.
No, they can't use any foul language.
No foul language. So you'd have to bring out something Ferengi.
So you put the "fuck you" in Klingon.
Right. Exactly. Klingon or Ferengi.
It's "fuck you."
Pon far.
So. Can we do one 15-minute thing where like the whole Star Trek universe just gets obliterated? And that's like the big FU kind of thing.
Wasn't that the J.J. Abrams' first movie?
No, that's the second Planet of the Apes movie.
And you call it Federation Unlimited or something like that, or Federation,
Federation
just
Destroyed.
FU, just some FU, and that's the name of the movie, a Star Trek fan film, blah, 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 underneath the bomb. But it's, Anyway. Now we're running out of space. But Monopoly, the board game, is going to get a musical.
Oh, yeah.
And because why not? Motherfucker, why not?
Yeah, they've partnered with the same producers who did brought you Urinetown, Wicked, and Rock of Ages.
But those guys make good shows, though.
Yeah, but if you had any doubts about the selling out of Broadway... There are none anymore.
No, and it hasn't really since Disney fucking kind of glommed their way into it.
Yeah.
But hey, as long as these people making shit that fucking wins awards and actually gets lauded, then how much can you really argue? But my problem is that, like, if they make a Monopoly, I don't care if it's a movie or if it's a fucking Broadway show or a musical, if there's somebody not flipping the board game over, or somebody be like, "Fuck this game, I'm leaving."
As soon as someone buys Boardwalk.
That's it.
That's it. Game's over. Fuck this.
For any reason. Because I've watched people walk away from that game for a lot of different reasons. But that's just one of the things I have to see. Someone's got to.
Yeah, it's got to have a character that gets stuck buying all the railroads.
Yeah, right.
It's either someone buys board or someone just sets up a hotel.
Oh, maybe what it'll do, it'll solve the dilemma of what to do with Park Place.
Now, here's the thing.
Do you put the money on it, and then when you get out of jail, you land on it, you win it, or what?
Well, this music's gonna be about a guy who's got big dreams, and then he gets corrupted, or someone's telling him all about the board, all around the board. That's gonna be the big song. It's all around the board. Fucking
the board of life.
You're
gonna do the thing, and
hey, I just ran around the block. Here's $200.
$200 for you.
Yeah.
Go directly to jail.
Yeah, no.
Do not pass go.
The thing I'm really wondering that this article doesn't address is whether or not this musical is going to be influenced at all by the movie version of Monopoly that Ridley Scott was developing.
Well,
a few years ago.
Can we just have that?
Yeah. Well, I think Ridley Scott has done freebasing cocaine,
whatever,
and
plastic.
Come down from that idea.
Yeah. Let's do The Martian instead.
Good call.
Good call.
So, you know, I don't know. I thought we'd have a little bit more on that. So, but that's it.
Oh, that's
The Monopoly, Monopoly. I can't even say it. Monopoly the musical.
don't pass the front door. Do not go to see that.
Now here's the big news.
Here's the big news. So, the Staten Island Yankees team, the farm team for the New York City, New York Yankees,
Yeah,
New York
right.
Yankees single A short
has
season.
decided that they want to change the name of the team. It's legit, and they're having a contest for anybody can rename it. You know, so I was thinking maybe we can come up with something.
I have a good idea.
So, the jib is this. Before we jump right into it, but the setup is this: is that if you do win, you get two free tickets and the opportunity to throw out the first pitch of the first game of their next.
So
next
you
season
get
at home.
two tickets worth about $20.
Oh, you do get like a jersey. You get
Oh, okay.
so you get something with the name that obviously that you helped create and all that.
Yeah.
But,
Do I get my name on the? If I win, do I get my name underneath there and like my little signature as part of it, and then the trademark?
Yeah, right. You could autograph them for people though. You could certainly do that. You can start having signings. Just set up your own table over
I
there.
want my name on the bottom of every T-shirt when they print.
See, Bob will ruin it. Bob will ruin it. He'll just he'll work his way.
I don't want the money. I just want my name on.
That's
there.
all. Fair enough.
You
Fair
know,
enough.
there you go.
Just
I don't want
stamp
no
it.
money.
It's just got to be a little stitch
Just
underneath.
when you do the logo, since
Yeah.
it's my logo, just put my little signature underneath,
Well-
right next to the trademark, where it's like trademark Staten Island, whatever.
Sure.
I mean, but I think the real question here is what baseball team name really embodies Staten Island?
And they want it to be a name.
I got it.
Okay. What do you got?
Staten Islanders.
I hate it. So,
The Staten
they,
Island
although it
No,
does work to the.
just the Staten Islanders, plain and simple.
So it
We already got the
does,
Islanders. You got
Yeah.
the New York Islanders.
Yeah.
You got other Islanders. So
and it does play into their whole
Just
point of doing this, which is to try and really get more people from Staten Island to go to the stadium. So they're trying to find a name that kind of fits us more regionally and locally. And it feels like because most farm teams aren't just the same name as the main
Yeah,
team.
like-
They're
like-
the
well,
farm
how about
team
the Staten
of,
Island
so-
fuck Manhattans?
Well, because the Brooklyn team is
This is what I'm talking about.
The Brooklyn, the Mets team in Brooklyn
Yeah.
is the Brooklyn Cyclones.
Right.
Because
So we
they-
should
they-
be like the Psychos, or like Bob said, the Fuckums, or
Well,
you know what I mean?
No, the fuck Manhattans.
Well, the Cyclone, that's the Ferris wheel of Coney Island. So
No, I get it. It's a
yeah,
local thing. So for us,
so will be the Ferris wheels.
God, no, I'll move.
The Staten Island garbage men.
I'm so against that wheel as it is.
Staten Island garbage men, or
No, about the Staten Island dumps.
there you go, the Staten Island dumps.
We used to have, just for those who don't know, Staten Island used to have the world's largest garbage dump.
There you go.
Fresh
All right.
kills.
Yeah, it's visible from space. It was.
I work across the street from where it used to be, and I stare at the smokestacks there all day.
You can hear it hissing.
Yeah.
You see the fumes coming up from under the ground.
Yeah,
The methane, like in the Preacher show.
Yeah.
It's quite a view. At least it's better than the parking lot.
There you go. It's grass. At least there's something up there. But I don't know. Is there any other names we can think of? Can we figure out something?
See,
Maybe.
Can you have the image of like a woman driving while her nails are drying?
Like how we make that?
Oh, Staten Island soccer moms?
Yeah.
Staten Island.
And chewing gum. She's chewing gum.
Right.
Trying to drive while her nails are drying.
Right. Something
Without touching the wheel.
Something about the stagnant traffic.
Mm-hmm.
The hurry up and waits.
Mm-hmm.
Or
The bronzers.
bronzers.
Just fake tans.
There you go. Yeah. The Aquanets.
Yeah.
I'll just call them the Staten Island Gotties.
The Staten Island guys.
Or you can go with a name that's
Staten Island mobsters.
you go with a name that doesn't end in S, something like like the Utah Jazz. Maybe if we had the Staten Island Quaff.
The Invisibles, because no one even cares that there's a team. Like, we got our own team? We couldn't care.
I've been to a lot of Staten Island Yankees games, and the fun thing is you could just sit there and chat with your friends and not even pay attention to the game.
Right, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
baseball.
and for your $27 a ticket, you can get the free hot dogs and burgers and chips and soda.
$27. Where's your ticket? I think it's like $10-15.
Bro, they give you money to go to the game
Right.
now.
Oh, no, you know what it was? I remember I paid for me and somebody else.
There you go.
That's why it was
There you go.
No, we had... No, yeah, that's what it was. It was They actually do camp out night with the scouts.
Okay, sure.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a nightmare.
Oh, I bet.
That's a nightmare.
Oh,
Don't ever do it.
I would.
I did it with the scouts. It's horrible.
Because they play baseball movies to go to sleep to, but they're movies that only the adults get.
It's like this is what happens. You go to the game.
Okay.
Right? Then there's a fireworks show after the game.
Sure.
So now it's 11 o'clock at night.
Right.
You got a 9-year-old kid.
Oh boy.
Okay. Now you got to leave the place because if you're going to be there to sleep, you got to go get your stuff, and they got to check you back in.
Gotcha.
Okay, so you got to leave and then get back online and come back in. So now it's 12 o'clock by the time you get back in.
Sure.
Okay, and now they're going to start the movie while you're setting up your tent in the middle of the outfield.
Right.
So now it's 3 o'clock in the morning by the time you get to bed.
Yeah.
And you get kicked out by 7 a.m. So they wake you up at 6 a.m. so you can break everything down so you can leave. Okay? Do I
brilliant.
No,
that sounds about right.
That's exactly it, right?
Yeah. That's brilliant. Brilliantly bad.
Right, so
wow.
it is the most nightmarish thing.
Oh, what a horrible.
So you're eating and they give you a special buffet. They have like a buffet set up for you.
A buffet of garbage.
But it's all like cold burgers, hot dogs, because they cooked all like the last hour ago and they've been sitting out in those pans.
By the way, I'm looking now just in case people are curious. Seats go from there's $9 tickets and $18 tickets.
Okay.
Right, and then there's package deals per ticket.
Yeah,
and then if you give them like 50, you can sit in the dugout.
Yeah,
like they don't.
It's
care.
it's like $13-14 per for all you can eat food.
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah, great ballpark.
If you give them $100, they'll let you run the team for the day. I think.
Yeah. No, there's beer.
No, you can buy beer, but you can't. When you get the package deal, you don't get the beer.
Oh yeah, you have to pay for your beers.
Who gives a shit about the fucking package deal?
You always pay for your booze.
I'm glad that we got so off the fucking whole point of this.
But
anyway,
if anyone wants to enter that contest, just go to siyanks.com.
Nobody fucking wants to enter that.
Wait, that was so long ago. What was the contest about? Oh, the name, right?
Yeah, well, that was the whole point.
Rename the team.
Anyway, I thought it would be funny. I thought we would do something about it, but nobody gives a shit. So, whatever.
Staten Island, how about the Staten Island? I wish I was living back in Brooklyn's.
We should unmake.
Speak for yourself.
Well, because I hear so many people who move here from Brooklyn. They're like, I wish I was back in Brooklyn.
Anybody that fucking lives anywhere usually complains about the fact of where they are after a while.
I don't like nothing here. I want to go back.
Yeah,
so
well, I don't know.
My family's always lived here.
Since 80% of the people from Staten Island these days are from Brooklyn now.
Well, that's just anybody who moves from anywhere. Everybody that's being homesick. You know, and since we're New Yorkers, we fucking complain a lot and fucking bitch and moan. For as much as we say we hate bitching and moaning, that's all I fucking hear. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, I hate this fucking place. This fucking place is fucking stupid. There's so many the trees. Why you guys got so many fucking trees here?
Wait, what's this
you can build houses there.
Yeah. What's with this thing you call dirt?
I don't understand.
Where's all the concrete?
I don't understand why no one's got sidewalks in some of these neighborhoods.
What's
they don't
with the
want
real
you
grass?
walking in their neighborhood, you jerk. Don't you get it?
Yeah. What's with the real grass? Back in Brooklyn, I had AstroTurf in my front yard.
Yeah. Don't you know in your front yard you're supposed to have enough room for 2 tomato plants? Come on. Let's get rid of here.
And don't forget the old car. It's got to be in there, too.
Forget about it.
All right, that's enough.
Please. Forget about it might be the thing like I hate the most.
Please.
Hearing
you don't
forget
drive.
about it.
You don't drive. You don't get to see it 3 times a day when you come over the bridge. Back
it's on street signs.
The fact that like we've embraced it. Like, please, it's the fucking worst thing ever. Like when I watch Donnie Brasco, I can't. Obviously, my accent comes out just saying Donnie Brasco. Fucking, but watching that movie and having that scene start. Like, I wanted to flip the fucking table. I wanted to smash the fucking TV. I was done. I was like, is this what we're going to do to try and make this movie cool? Is have this conversation where he's like, yeah, forget about it. Let me explain to you what forget about it means. Like, come on. Hey, come on. I'm done.
Hey, Bill?
Yeah, I know.
Come on,
ready. So, anyway, speaking of come on.
You want to take a break?
No.
Forget about it.
Forget about it. Your fucking breaks. Forget about it, all right? Listen, this is what we're going to do. We're going to fucking get down over here. We're going to open up the fucking emails.
All right.
You know what I want you to do? I want you to forget about it, all right?
Yeah, maybe that's what you should do. You know, Bob's going to play us a little email theme, a little email music. You know,
I'll do it nice.
Oh, okay, do it. Oh, nice. That's all right. Emails. We get some emails. Lots and lots and lots and lots of emails.
All right. You want to start off with the ad mails?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
All right.
We'll throw it to you.
This is a bit of a somber one.
All right. But it's news too.
Gentlemen.
Sir.
What comic book role do you wish you could have seen Anton Yelchin play? Sad news came last weekend.
Right.
Yeah. Let's see. What he could have played.
You know, I kind of want to say, like, he's a lean dude.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm thinking kind of a speedster.
You know, he probably wouldn't have been a bad Peter Parker.
Yeah, he could have played.
You know,
college level Peter Parker.
Yeah, he probably could have played like a young adult Peter Parker age group like that. A
Quicksilver if Fox didn't
hadn't
raped the franchise.
Basically.
Well, the last one was.
Although I like that Quicksilver a lot better than the Marvel Quicksilver.
That Quicksilver is cool.
That's the only thing.
That's the only thing.
It's
that's
that and Deadpool is the best two things they've done
and that's
in
why
12 movies.
That's why they put him back in this one.
Which is why they better do a Quicksilver Deadpool team up movie.
There's word of it.
But
possibly.
we're getting off track.
Fair enough. You know, he's a lean dude. I could have seen him playing maybe like a young Iron Fist, maybe. Thing is that like I don't have enough of his collection of work, so that I keep defaulting in my head to Star Trek.
I mean, Star Trek's the most popular thing he's done. He was also in. He played Kyle Reese in Terminator Salvation, if anyone remembers that movie.
If anyone saw it and still remembers it.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, well, luckily I saw it and don't remember it.
But he also did a lot of independent movies. Green Room, which is a movie that I didn't really like, but thought that he was very good in.
Okay.
And actually, one of my favorite performances is a movie that was very controversial when it came out, just because it was Mel Gibson, but a lot of people have forgotten it, but The Beaver.
Oh my gosh!
Which was where Mel Gibson decided to talk through this puppet that he made for himself.
Right.
Had Jodie Foster, but Anton Yelchin played his son.
Okay.
That was the first movie I ever saw Jennifer Lawrence in. He plays this girl who he befriends.
Oh, all right.
All right. So who would we get him? You know.
Well, I could tell you my choice, which which isn't a superhero, but it's a comic book. I for years, have always said that he would have been perfect to play Yorick in Y: The Last Man.
Yeah, he'd be good. He would have been good for that. Yeah, sure. He could definitely carry the Yorick's kind of like got a goofball kind of sarcastic side to him in his character, and you need somebody who's got a little bit can carry that, can do that, and he's obviously got a little bit of natural comedic timing,
and he's quirky.
And he's quirky enough, you know what I mean? And he kind of looks like a kid who would probably be into like escape tricks and stuff like that, and have a pet monkey. Spider Monkey. But yeah, it's a really sad thing, the way the fact that he's passed and the way that he's passed.
Yeah, just a little crazy thing with his car.
Yeah.
All right.
So what's your next one there, buddy?
Let's bring it up.
Let's bring it up.
Gentlemen.
Sir.
What cake product, a la Twinkies, will be used to explain the bad ghost's evil plan in the Ghostbusters reboot?
Okay, so this is a hard...
Start that again?
What cake product, as in Twinkies,
right,
will be used to explain the bad ghost's evil plan in the Ghostbusters reboot?
Now, this is a direct reference to the original.
Yes, where Egon explains to Winston how the Twinkie is a symbol of the world ending.
Right. I don't recall the whole thing, but now I'll
I don't
find
know
it,
that it would
and I'll put it in the beginning of the episode.
Product. It could be something else. It could be just the Kardashians.
Right. There's so much. There's so much more easily analogous evil in the world.
No, you don't think we'll get a devil dog?
I mean, look, the Kardashians, they destroyed the male in the household. That he actually turned himself into a woman.
If we're gonna do, if we're gonna do
Kristen
a cake,
Wiig isn't just gonna be holding a coffee cake.
No. It's gonna be, if anything, it's gonna be one of those coconut snowballs things.
Oh, there we go. That's perfect.
I don't know who eats that. I see them on the rack. I've never seen a person.
Maybe it'll be chocodiles. What's the deal with chocodiles? People don't eat those no more.
Listen. That's like my weakness. All right, you can't bring up chocodiles because now I want
or
one.
Nutter Butters.
Well, that's nasty.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Like, you give me a chocolate covered like Twinkie, and you're telling me
with peanut butter,
and that wasn't a hit. Like,
no, there was a hit. I used to like them too.
But I don't see them anymore. It's like the one that they don't make. Like, you know what I mean?
Occasionally you see them and you're like, gee, if I haven't seen those in 20 years, how petrified are those?
Yeah.
I mean, you guys.
So no one touches them.
You guys are going to be really angry because they have no idea what you're talking about.
That's fine. That's fine.
That's okay because
I think you're making it up.
No.
Nope.
Not going to lie.
Chocodile.
It's a chocolate. They took a Twinkie, filled it with peanut butter, cheap ass peanut butter flavors.
I think it was like they did a couple of different flavors. I think one was peanut butter. There was like a white cream and maybe chocolate. Yeah,
No, there was a chocolate cover one, but it wasn't.
No,
a
I mean they were chocolate dials. It's basically
Right.
a chocolate covered Twinkie. I know there was like a peanut butter filling. I think it might have been like a vanilla filling too, where it was a couple of different. They might have done banana.
You're definitely right about them
that's
putting chocolate over both of them.
You don't know what's funny? The second thing on the Google search term is Chocodiles where to buy. And
Well, I know that they still make them. It just seems like I don't see them in the stores
Right.
anymore.
evidently, there's a hostess website called FreshChocodiles.com where you can have them ordered and delivered to your home.
Now, you know what? You're right, though. They don't have the peanut butter in them, so there must be another thing that they use the Twinkie for with the peanut butter and the chocolate
Probably.
that I've forgotten about.
I didn't want to argue the point.
In
my head, I was like,
the picture up. You're right.
in my head, I was like, they never made those, but I don't want to argue with Bob. I'm just going to let it go.
Next email.
Yeah. You
Please.
with your divisive, hate-bringing emails.
Really? First you bring us down, then you make us
I'm
fight.
trying to bring it to family, Bob.
Really?
All right, gentlemen.
Sir.
Don't you know depression runs in our family?
Who would be the perfect celebrity spokesperson for Brillo pads?
Dr. Doom. That guy's always encased in metal. I mean, Tony Stark just rebuilds new suits. Doom has got one look, and he's been having that suit for years.
No.
He's got to keep that thing fucking tip-top. It's got to get funky in there.
I was thinking somebody with acne.
As if they're going to use that to get it off.
I don't know why, but that's what I started thinking
All
of.
right.
But now I'm like, okay, what stars have acne?
I'm missing a connection. I'm like, is it just because it's like...
Well, it's like you scrub it away.
Right. Okay, that's really...
Well, like when I'm thinking, when I say
How about a crackhead?
Also, when I say
Do you catch that reference? Do you know how crack works?
Yeah, no, I'm sure he doesn't.
I'm sure he doesn't.
Sorry,
no, I don't know how Brillo is related to crack cocaine usage. Look it up. But anyway,
when I said celebrity, I was
Charlie Sheen.
I was kind of thinking real people.
Charlie Sheen for Brillo pads. Everybody loves them. Get a box today. Get two.
They're winning.
You're winning with Brillo.
All right.
Hey,
Final question. Final Ed mail for the day.
I'm Adonis.
Which fictional secret agent
Yes.
would you trust most with your life?
Fictional?
Inspector Gadget. Not.
Well, I guess you could only go with Bond, really. But
Would you really trust him with your life? Think of all the people who he's been with who have ended up dead 10 minutes later.
well, I guess it'll depend. I'll have to get the rundown from him. Like, what's your assignment? What's going on? Because I had to then try to figure out how important I am to the story.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to survive it or not.
Yeah, because like
if I'm the guy who's got all the info, I'm getting to at least the third act.
Yeah, that guy's number one on the selfishness scale, and
yeah.
he always loses at least one girl over the course of each movie.
Well, I'll say this.
I'm thinking Triple X. I'm thinking Vin Diesel from Triple X.
At least it'll be fun. There'll be some jet skis.
Jet skis,
On
explosions,
sand,
expensive cars going off cliffs.
It'll be quite the adventure. More my speed. And this is not to bring up Agent Palmer directly, but Agent Palmer is actually Harry Palmer, which is a Michael Caine series of spy films from the 70s and 80s that he seems like, it's a pretty good thing. Like, I think I'd be safe with him. It's very lowbrow. It's like,
So you're saying Agent Palmer or Harry Palmer?
Agent Harry Palmer.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's not the guy who sends us emails and helps out with the show once in a while.
That's
as fictional as he really is.
Harry
we almost
Palmer.
went the whole show without mentioning his name.
Well, we were going to get to him after you, buddy, because he's got an email in the box here.
All right. Well, that's it for me.
That's it for you.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, spies. Yeah. Look at that. That was it. You were done. So Agent Palmer is indeed the next in the queue. To the Wickedest Theory podcast. I don't think that's how it's spelt, but I'll go with it because he was trying to do a play on words, and that's good enough.
Well, he did say we are the wickedest.
That's true.
Dude.
That's true.
We're totally wicked.
We are. And just so anybody who doesn't know us is confused, we are not from Boston.
No, we are not.
Thank you. Thank you for backing me up.
Wait,
We're
hang
not?
on.
Yeah.
No.
No, still not.
No.
Okay. I get that once in a while from people. They're like, oh, they don't. I'm meeting them for the first time.
You think I'm from Boston, eh? Wicked.
Yeah.
You think I'm from the harbor?
Nothing has made me want to change the
You
brand.
couldn't be more wrong.
Exactly. Nothing has made me want to change the brand.
Tom
more
Brady can kiss my fucking ass. Anyway.
Were you watching Ben Affleck over the weekend?
I saw that.
It was great, though.
That was Wednesday.
I was like, yeah, he's drunk, but he's not exactly
He's such
wrong.
a fucking classy guy.
He's
such a fucking classy
this guy. Fuck the fucking ball.
He's the fucking lead guy on a fucking team that's been cheating the whole time he's been fucking in quarterback. He's a fucking classy guy.
And you know what? He's right.
I'm saying like, he might be drunk as a skunk, but he's not wrong.
He's right, but he still cheated. So fuck.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Don't get me wrong.
He's a classy cheat.
Exactly. If we're gonna have a conversation about cheating, right?
That's the New York sports fan in me. You're right.
That's a sports fan in general.
But he still cheated.
Don't you get it? Yeah. That's a sports fan in general. The only people you allow to cheat are people who are on your team.
Yes.
He would have a better argument.
No, that's not true. I cannot watch the Yankees right now because Alex Rodriguez is playing for them. So that
we are just in too far into sports. Okay,
all right,
now you
enough.
mentioned fucking.
Sorry.
You had to go in with the name Staten Island Yankees thing.
It was my own. That's what it is.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
It started the whole thing.
This was my fault. I apologize.
It's Staten Island Spankies. All right, so back to Agent
There you
Palmer.
go. That's a good name.
That's a good name.
It's probably in there. I'm sure like 2,500 people already put it in there.
Bring out the little rascals. There we go.
Yeah, there you go. So to the Wickedest Theory podcast.
Sorry, I just got the joke.
Oh, from the noise over there? Yeah. Took a long time. All right, switching it up a bit. I've got a question for each of you. Though you can feel free to answer for each other.
All right, get to the point, Palmer.
There you go. I mean, let's face it. Your tagline could be the Wicked Theory podcast. Interruptions happen. That is how it could go. Mm-hmm. So first up is Ed. Last week you had the opportunity to have a show and not mention me once, but you were the first one to break that seal. You were the first person to mention me. Just wanted to point that out.
That's funny.
How do you feel now? So by saying we haven't mentioned him yet.
You mentioned him.
This is true.
Because I was talking of him, but you dropped his name. I think is how it goes.
Okay.
We didn't mention Agent Palmer once.
You know how I feel? Not a damn bit different.
I was just gonna say indifferent. That face was like, do I feel? I don't even know if I feel.
And I'm sorry to disappoint you. I know the fans are probably upset with me right now about that. But
the legions.
I gotta be honest.
You don't care?
I don't care. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, so then he says Bob.
What?
There are now people listening to AC/DC for the first time who think Axl Rose is the lead singer. Do you feel bad for them?
No, because they must be retarded.
Well, I mean, I think he's just saying, there's a young generation who's probably stumbling upon that and being like, oh, okay.
Well, the only way they're stumbling upon it is if they have like $600 a friggin' ticket.
Yeah, I was going to say
because they go in the PNC Arts Center here, over not far from us here in New Jersey. There's people selling tickets for $600 a piece because they don't want to go.
To
see Axl Rose. So, if you think Axl Rose is the singer of AC/DC,
have they released any songs with him singing?
There's no new tracks, but there's tons of footage of him on YouTube from stadium from the shows.
Okay,
so it's kind of interesting how he fits in with that sound because he's a scratchy voiced, screamy singer to a degree. Yeah. So it's a fair matchup, and I'm just surprised that the tour is still going. That the dude is hasn't totally. He's just not 20-something years old and drunk all the time. I get it.
Well, they have to finish the tour because there's the whole reason that he's in that band is because they were already on that tour. They were already committed to that tour.
Yeah. And I'm sure there's a payday at the end for him. Yeah. He has a certain kind of commitment.
Yeah, he's a hired gun for that.
Yeah.
And then that's it. They're going to probably be done forever.
By the way, what happened to Brian Johnson?
He's gone deaf. Oh. He's basically tone deaf. He just can't hear anything anymore.
Oh, that's sad.
He's like, what? All right,
I'm sorry I asked.
Yeah. What?
Well, you know what? He's a big fan of Top Gear. If you ever watch that show, the old ones, you see him. He's on there like 5-6 times. I've seen him on 5 or 6 different episodes.
Oh wow!
And he's progressively getting like, what?
You can kind of track it.
He's got people repeating things like, what? And now that I know about this, I've seen 2 different episodes with him on it. And
then you're noticing it, right?
You notice the difference.
Yeah, so Palmer's what?
This all shows my fault. Anyway,
yeah, whatever. Okay, so Dom got a question in here, but it's about the Mets. So you guys are both Yankee fans.
Yeah.
So it's just
the question: why does the New York even have another baseball team?
Well, this is always my question. How many teams do you need? And then I found out California's got like 17 fucking baseball teams.
Well, it's California.
And then like Minnesota or Montana has no team. I'm like, you should move somebody up there and help them out.
It's a big state.
I don't care how big it is. It's a state.
Well, there's...
It's a state.
I could go on, but I'm not going to.
But don't
you need two teams per state.
Bill, before you keep going on here, you have to remember you live in New York, where you have 2 baseball teams, 2 football, 3 football teams. New York State, three hockey teams,
right?
2 basketball teams.
Yeah.
We have like 2 soccer teams.
Yeah, it's all wrong. It's all wrong. If you need one team per division for any fucking sports league, and that's it. No, so that eventually you can have one team versus the other. What about the third team? Who are they going to fight?
No, it's spread according to the market. The market is able to support that many teams.
You go to Montana.
Montana can't support a baseball team.
Yeah, well, you haven't put a team up there yet to fucking see if they could.
There's plenty of minor
league
teams
Buffalo.
in that area.
We're not talking about minor league. Nobody supports minor league.
You go to Buffalo, New York. They have like 300,000 friggin' people. That's enough to support a football team? Not really.
No.
What about the Green Bay Packers? They're in Wisconsin. They're in Green Bay, Wisconsin, which has got like 50,000 friggin' people.
Yeah, but notice there is no Green Bay basketball or baseball or soccer team.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
Yeah. The only reason that team survives is because every single person in that town
buys
everything.
Yeah.
It's like they buy Brett Favre bratwurst.
And that is also the only publicly owned sports team in the country.
And maybe that's why it never fucking left. I bet you if that wasn't a publicly owned fucking team, it would have fucking left because teams don't care about the states they're in.
No,
Just
money.
saying. Just saying. I'm still going to fight for that, okay? And one day I want the teams to be nothing but people who live in those states.
I'm still waiting for you to fix college basketball, but moving on. That's a different show. We're going to start that sports show soon. Okay. Bill figures out sports podcast. Ed explains something, and then Bill solves it. That's what it is.
Right. There you go. All right. Problem solved, we'll call that. That's not a bad idea. Problem solved podcast.
No, well, I got to get the Grant show off first.
Right. That's true.
Do it as a segment.
Fair enough. Okay. So then, now for me, he says, Bill, are you aware that 9 episodes ago, the Wicked Theory podcast was episodically eligible for the AARP? I guess I do now. That
but that requires membership, which you have to pay.
Oh,
so does Palmer want to pay that? Now
the show. Yeah, the show's not. I mean,
it's like $50 a year.
Did you say the show is probably entitled to some kind of tax write-offs on some level?
Mm-hmm. I mean, could they at least give us the magazine?
But the magazine's like the worst. It's Old People Monthly. Like it smells like Bengay when you get it. It's like 7 pages about bingo, and then like
the latest
golf.
bingo strategies inside.
Yeah, really, Margie's going to tell you everything you need to know. All right, so then
how to play bridge.
So and then lastly to all of you, Brian, Steph, and I, and he means Brian Hughes, have been enjoying the footy, soccer. Of late, because they're having some playoff stuff, right? What kind of rule changes would it take for you guys to get interested in the sport?
Rules that would make it higher scoring?
I think they would have to shrink the ball down and make it flatter, give everyone sticks, and put it on ice.
I like that.
Combine it with Death Race 2000. Yeah. No cars. Cars. Just keep them on their feet. But instead of like bashing each other with cars,
right?
You give them like spikes on like gloves, spikes.
I like it.
Knee pads with spikes.
I say you start playing on
make it
concrete.
a blood sport.
I think all you gotta do to get to blood is just play it on concrete. No, not allowed any kind of protective gear. Just a regular shorts and a shirt like you normally wear, and slide if you want to, motherfucker. But so on a serious note. I think if you shrunk the field, because that field is fucking monstrous.
Well, it's 300. It's 100 meters.
It's like 1,000 by 1,000.
It looks bigger than it is.
It probably does.
Go to a football game. You see how small the field really is.
Right. I hear that too. No, you're right. On that. But I think if they made the field smaller, like you were saying, made me think about it. But make the ball smaller.
Do a 50-meter field and you keep it a little faster.
Well, you go. You got ideas?
I'm just saying, if you make it half...
Yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking. Is like if it's a smaller field, like, right.
So if you make it half the size, it'll be a faster game.
Faster game. Obviously, the dynamic will change a little bit. I know nothing about the game overall.
Make it so the ball explodes. Randomly.
Randomly?
Yeah.
When there's
Well,
a
you
tie.
can put a timer in it that they can hear.
Yeah. When it's tied, when it's like sudden death overtime, it's literally sudden death overtime.
But it's got to like you got to hear the click at times when it's not really going to go off. So these guys still
here-
got to
here's
make
the
sure that
thing.
they keep kicking the ball.
Whoever's nearest to the ball, whoever's like in possession of the ball at that moment in time, do they get a penalty or do they get a reward?
Well, they get a reward in the form of a penalty. They get to take a penalty kick, but now they probably have one less leg.
But they've lost a player.
But
there we go.
But that player gets to take a penalty kick, but he's lost a leg.
All I wanted to do was just.
So he's got to jump with one leg and then swing it.
Unless he hits it with his stick that I just gave him.
See, but here's the
There you
thing.
go.
But I wanted to make it the size of a hacky sack. That was what I wanted to do. That's all I want to do. So if
Okay.
it's still explosive, then fine. I don't care. But I just want the ball to be the size of a hacky sack because I just feel like you can track it too well on TV. But if it's the size of a hacky sack and we make it green or black, then it'd be great for people at home. They'll just
You could also
love
put
it.
a sniper in the stands, and anytime a guy fucks up, right in the back of the head.
You know what I want? Just put the whole thing on a big tilting table.
There you go.
That the people at home can fucking kind of
Can
like
control.
Yeah, they can control and like some common denominator thing will select out.
You got
which
like a
people
remote control that's like a platform on top of a ball, and you roll it back and forth to tilt it.
Yeah, I mean the real thing with hockey to
Make
me,
it interactive.
The real thing with
There you
soccer
go.
to me, it doesn't translate well to TV, and I think a lot of the times you just see the ball moving and it doesn't feel like anything is going on.
Yeah, I just think it's just that we just never caught on to it, and we
Yeah.
have these
Well,
other
they could
sports.
take, they could take an idea from hockey where they put that little red dot on the hockey puck, so you
Yeah,
can follow it around.
that thing that they got out of hockey like 3 months later because people.
on Fox when Fox took it over and made it the blue flash. You talking about that?
Yeah.
But Bob's got a point. Like they do kind of put a logo on there, so it is a little bit easier to
You put,
track in
like-
general.
yeah, there's
but you're
like
talking about when they made it blue. When
Yeah,
Fox
where it
started
was
with
like
hockey.
glowing.
Yeah, and it was like zoom, zoom, zoom.
And you could track it even when it was like in the boards.
Yeah, because it was streaking, and then on the
Yeah.
other side,
Yeah.
you could still stay.
Yeah, you know what? They could put like a CG, like whenever someone's getting ready to take a shot for the goal, maybe put a little CG of like a samurai outfit over his body. It's like he's like now he's got superpowers.
You know what they got to do? Here's what they got to do. Bob's got a good point. The grass is green, and so they should do like the NFL and start putting markers and flags and pointers all over the grass and indicators and all this kind
Yellow
of stuff.
lines.
Yellow lines,
lays
logos,
out everything so people
some
can
fucking
understand it a little
ads.
easier.
You know what I mean? Exactly. Make it more
It's a
interesting.
complicated game. It's got to be a faster scoring game for Americans.
because like the thing, like baseball is a very slow game,
change the point system.
but they're constantly cutting from the pitcher to the hitter to the pitcher to the hitter.
Yeah, they're
going
trying to
back
build
and
it. Yeah,
forth.
they're trying to build it up.
There's this sense of tension
Yeah.
that's building, and soccer doesn't have that.
And soccer never tried to have that because I think the thing is that they've kind of always. It's not like we're in America. We'll take anything and we'll just find a way to ratchet it up.
Yeah.
So like with baseball, it's like it's our insistence
they
on that.
try and do that with soccer. You got the announcers doing it though. They're the ones who are trying to do it. They're the ones.
They become the entertainment.
They become more
right.
like radio announcers.
Right, they become personalities.
Right?
Yeah.
Old time radio announcers would build up any kind of sporting event as much as they could.
Well, Palmer, thank you for the email.
Yeah,
That's
just
enough fucking
little
sports
little
talk.
less soccer.
This is quite the sports episode. We
And
might have
by
to
the
make
way-
this the official first sports episode
In case anyone's wondering, I know this is kind of a callback, but the cover of AARP magazine
this month. Yeah.
features Alfre Woodard, Jane Fonda, and Sharon Stone.
Why would we need to know that?
They're defying Hollywood ageism. Anyway,
Well, you know what? That's good for them. I'm glad that they are.
See, I just think of AARP magazine as like woods toilet paper for when you're in the woods.
Yeah, but kindling, at the very least.
Yeah,
You got to start a fire with
right.
something.
Yeah, he's a Boy Scout. He knows. You rip up toilet paper. You rip up paper. You wrinkle it, and it gets soft.
oh yeah.
And you can use it as toilet paper.
Oh yeah. So
yeah, that's a smile says he's used it.
you do what you got to do. Hey, listen, I got stuck in a river and had to wipe my ass with a sock. All right, so this nothing. This is nothing. All right, so true story, folks. Apologies. This is from Brian Hughes. I should probably tell you who it's from. It's from Brian Hughes. It's from Scotland.
Well, you could just do it in a Scottish accent, and that'll let us know.
Best Brian Hughes.
Hey,
Good evening, gentlemen.
you bloody bastard!
See, you're coming Irish, and I'm trying so hard to think
I can't
of
do Scottish. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, that's the thing for me too. Is
hard.
I slip
It's
into
hard.
Irish if I'm not careful, and so I was just watching some. Your boy, what's his name on CBS? He's not on anymore.
Oh, Craig Ferguson.
Craig Ferguson clips of him, just random. I ended up in a rabbit hole on YouTube, so I was watching some Fergie.
He's got a great news show.
Yeah.
Join or Die.
Join or
Join
Die.
or Die. Yeah,
Join or Die.
that's actually a phenomenal show. I never catch enough of it.
So anyway, I'm not going to do it. I'll work on it, and maybe next time, to Brian's probably complete embarrassment. I'll try to read it in a Scottish accent. But he says, apologies rather, for not sending an email last week, but I was too busy drinking beer and watching footy.
All right, we forgive you.
Thank you. Even Palmer missed the deadline. What a lightweight. You guys checked out Braindead yet? Actually, we talked about it a little bit earlier. Loving it so far. People who think Preacher has been slow better not check out Outcast, which seems to have gone into reverse. Still going to keep watching it, though. Anyway, some quick questions.
I enjoyed last night's episode. Anyway,
but what do you think about that? You've watched all the episodes of Outcast. I've only seen the first one.
Yes.
Does it feel slow? Or does it feel on par pacing with the first episode at least?
It feels on pacing.
Like it feels on par with that?
You're learning a different thing about the situation every episode. The thing that's really entertaining for me, and this is more of kind of a nostalgia thing, is Brent Spiner is playing this character who is somehow in charge of all of this.
Is he the guy? Is he the guy that that lives on the block or whatever in the other house, or he's in the black hat?
No, he's the guy with the black hat.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
He's this episode. Right. He's this show's Linus from.
He's this show's spooky guy who is somehow involved, but we don't know yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's the cigarette smoking man.
I'm very happy.
He's Kobayashi.
I didn't, because I read the book, so I didn't know. I knew Brent Spiner was going to be on something. I had heard that, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, Outcast." And when you told me he's that guy, that's cool. It's cool because he's just a creepy fuck. Well, not Spiner, but the character. So then Brian goes on to say he's got questions for us. Favorite fruit to eat.
Favorite fruit.
I'm heterosexual, so
fair enough. I understand.
Watermelon,
yeah. I'd say
like the melons. Melons are really good.
Sure,
nice.
The melons.
Nice juicy melon.
Who doesn't like good melons?
Me, I like my melons nice and big. But
it's like it just has to turn into double entendre, doesn't it?
Not so much the cantaloupe, but the watermelon, the nice big watermelon, or a good honeydew.
So you like your melons watermelon size?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Fair enough. I mean, that's a good point. Like, if you're going to have your melons, they should be melon sized.
Yeah,
or nice and juicy, right?
Yeah, or if I'm going outside of the melon family, I'm thinking either a peach or a mango.
I'm like watermelon and strawberries. I mean, I've had everything. Nectarines. Nectarines, or is it? What's the other one? With the black,
tangerines?
The dark one. Tangerines are good too.
Plums.
I think it's plums.
Oddly enough, there's no plum flavored food.
Thank God for that. Maybe because I don't think they would get it right. They can barely get
the formula for Dr. Pepper contains the original formula has plums.
How about that?
There's like 57 different things in
37
to make up the flavor.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Of Dr. Pepper, and one of them is plums.
Another one is, I think, battery acid. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. His next question then is, he says, I'm not an avid comic collector, but after the fairly recent price hike, did you guys cut back on your purchases rather than wait for trades paperback?
All right. No, I just had to cut back on my reading because I just steal everything from you.
Fair enough. If I'm cutting back, you're cutting back, basically.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. And you're not cutting back anytime soon.
Well, we'll get to me in a second.
Funny, for me, it was the exact opposite. I jumped back in, although DC is, for most of their stuff, is $2.99 right now.
And that's what's allowed you to jump back in at the sampling level you're at.
But basically what I do is I read a bunch of number ones and I pick them up and trade.
Right. There you go. Sample it out so you know what's worth, what feels like worth. And that's kind of going to start being my new model. Like, for new series that I kind of want to continue reading, because I sample out a lot of number ones from a lot of different publishers.
Yeah, well, you have them pick all the, a bunch of number ones every week.
Yeah, well, basically it's like, whatever they really kind of think is in my, like, outside of, like, obviously kids' books, like little kids, like Cartoon Network books, pretty much like they throw all the number ones in my bag, and I'll pluck out what I actually really want to check out. And then from that, like, I think my new thing is going to be, instead of picking it up straight, it's going to be, let me collect it and trade.
Right, so maybe pick up number one to read it and see what the deal is.
Right.
Maybe if it's intriguing enough, you'll pick up an issue or two, but then eventually you're just going to drop right into the trade. Just say, all right, this is something that I'm going to be just looking at in the trades. And it makes more sense in the long run to it.
Yeah.
Plus also
dollar-wise.
From a collecting standpoint, to have all the long boxes and the bags and boards and everything, whereas with a trade, you could just put that on a bookshelf and it looks nice.
See, for me, like, I'm not a comic book collector in the sense of where, like, I have to have them.
Right. I'm a collector in the sense,
value. Right. I'm the collector in the sense of I can't get rid of them. Like, I can't just throw them out or something. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's those
sacrilege.
stories.
Like, it's sacrilege.
It's the hoarder in you.
Well, I don't know if it's the a little bit.
We
a
get
little
that
bit,
from our mother.
but a little bit. But my point being that, like, it's comic books. It's like, what do you do with them if, like, you want to unload them? Kind of, like, you know what I mean? You're gonna get beat over the head. It's like, I'm working on a plan though. But my point being that, I actually just cut back on a lot of comics, on a lot of books, a lot of Marvel books I dropped. And I'm just kind of like dipping toes and stuff. And what's funny is that every time I kind of go to my pull list and I chop it down, there's always like 3 books I have to put on.
Yeah.
Because I've been picking them up anyway.
Yeah.
Because I did sample and I did like it, but I forgot to tell them to put it on my pull list. So then when I go to manage my pull list online, it's like, okay, I'm not reading this, I'm not reading this, I'm not reading this, I'm not reading this, but these 2 new books coming in. So it's like there's always a trade-off.
Right.
And usually...
You'll get rid of 6 books, but then you'll bring 2 more in, so you're actually only down 4.
Right. It's a whole...
Right.
It's math.
Goddamn image.
Goddamn math.
Goddamn math.
Yep.
So,
so what's next?
His next question is, do any of you collect action figures? He says, I got a friend who spends fortunes on action figures and display cases. They look great, but I couldn't justify some of the prices. And I have to agree with you a little bit.
Yeah.
I know a few people who collect the Star Wars Black line of high-end figures that they do. And I kind of get it, but, it's just not for me. Because, I mean, a lot of that stuff is almost at statue level now of quality.
Yeah,
so it's like having a cheap statue in a sense. You know?
I can't be a collector because I just can't maintain that enthusiasm level for stuff for so long after watching things like that. My high after watching a movie like Star Wars for the first time does not translate to me being that fanatical.
Yeah, where it's like I feel like I need more, or I want to get some stuff.
Yeah,
or
I'm like, man, that was awesome. I would love to watch it again. I'd like to watch a part 2 or whatever right now. But
it's not like you get so wrapped into being a fan of something that it's like, oh,
I got to have everything. No, I can't. I can't be like that.
I mean,
it's, to me, it just seems a little wasteful.
For a while after New 52, I was collecting the DC Direct figures that were coming out.
Okay.
And they were just at a point they're great figures, but I don't know how to display them. They don't make it easy because they don't really give out like stands and stuff for them. But when I was a kid, I was heavy into Playmates line of Star Trek action figures.
Okay.
And I got almost every one of, but like I played with them. I didn't collect them.
Right.
And it got to the point where like even still in my room, I have those, and a lot of times like if I'm just like pacing in my room working on a creative project or just thinking, I have one in my hand. It's almost like in Few Good Men where like Tom Cruise has to be holding the baseball bat.
I need
to have Captain Sisko or Captain Pike there at my side.
Oh my God.
It's weird.
Okay,
but it works. I don't know.
Maybe all you need, it's like a wish coin or that little rock some people will keep in their pocket, like and they'll rub it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you just put Cisco in your pocket, and carry him with you throughout the day. He'll help you make good decisions. You can pretend he's in your ear. These are the decisions you have to make. So for me, it's like, not so much the action figures. There are a lot that I'll see that are like high-end action figures, like some of these ones that are coming out from this Japanese studio, I forget. But they're making some of these, and they're not really action figures, like I'm saying, as much as they're like plastic statues, because they're just so high detailed, and the articulation is not like, I could play with this anyway. But I really at this point now, I do have my eyes out. Like I'm waiting. I want to get like a nice statue though. But it's like some of them are like as cool as it is. I'm just not into Thor. Yeah. Like, it's like, that's a fucking sick Thor statue they have at Comic Book Jones right now.
But do I really want to pay $200 for that?
I mean, I will obviously try hard to wait for some crazy sale, you know what I mean? Or some raffle type action that they do there once in a while.
But usually one of those.
But I'm not dropping 3 bills, 4 bills, 5 bills
for
something that I might drop.
Yeah, you're not going to do the layaway?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I feel bad for that store. Like, any store that does layaway, what a nightmare.
And that's the one thing at Comic Book Jones that I remember seeing people who have statues on layaway, and it's, people, they're there for years.
Yeah, they're just chipping away at paying for it, man. Just chipping away, and it's like, Jesus Christ.
Then they got to make a rule where if you don't, after 3 months of non-payment.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They do.
You lose out, and you got to, that's it. You lose your money and you lose your thing. Make sure you pay.
Yeah, they do. They do. They got some side rules like that. They're not getting burned like like other people are. And besides, anyway, if you're going to tell me you're going to pay it off in a month, then just pay it on your credit card, then, Dick. You know, that's why was my thinking. Like,
yeah, but interest.
Yeah, but unless you have but what if your credit card's maxed?
Well, that's true.
There's usually a reason why you're doing layaway because nothing.
Yeah.
You got nothing else.
They won't let me have a credit card. Right, basically. So that's it from Brian. He says, "Loving your work, guys.
Bye, Brian.
Keep it real. Keeping it real annoying.
Keep it Scottish, Brian.
Yeah, Brian.
Keeping it real. Great movies podcast from IGN. Moving on.
He didn't spell it like that, though.
Okay.
I'm sure that's a spelling thing, right? There's an EE.
Yes.
Anyway, so Steph Muniz has sent us an email.
From
she
Arizona.
Says, "Hey, yous guys. Greetings from the smoldering Arizona. Although it seems like the high heat days have passed for the moment, it's only 100 as I write this, and the high is 109. Anything under 110 is normal for this time of year. So there's that.
Well, you can always get up out of bed first thing in the morning and make your breakfast outside on the sidewalk.
You know what I mean? Just fry an egg and come back later.
Laying out some tinfoil.
She says, I don't really have much this week, but I was playing around on Google and came across an interesting bit of geek news. We covered it a little bit, but let's hear her angle. They are making a new Power Rangers movie. Yes, Power Rangers. I remember the show, loved it as a kid, and I watched the original movie religiously. There you go. But I don't think it was popular enough anymore to warrant another movie until I read who was cast to play Zordon, Bryan Cranston, of Breaking Bad fame. He's set to play the famous floating head in a tube. Apparently, he has ties to Saban and did voice acting for them back in the day, even before Power Rangers, and also on Power Rangers. Which, now that she points that out, I do remember hearing that when I was all Bryan Cranston obsessed with Breaking Bad, that I had seen that as a thing people will throw at him in interviews and be like, weren't you a Power Ranger or something?
Right,
or weren't you on there? But that's a super cool fun fact. That the Blue Ranger, Billy Cranston, the character's name, is actually named after Bryan Cranston.
Wow. Billy was my favorite Ranger.
Oh, I was?
Yes, he was.
Oh, he. Okay.
He was also like the most goody of them, wasn't he?
He was the nerd.
Oh, okay.
He was the nerd.
There's always one.
Yeah, he was the guy.
Was he academic nerd?
Yeah, guys, if we do the Power Ranger things with our arms, we do it this way, we can actually do this better.
He got to graduate high school early.
That's the technology.
When they became Power Rangers, when they stopped being the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, they became Power Rangers Zeo. Something happened where Billy lost his powers.
No,
but they let him stay on as a helper for Zordon.
Well, they need someone to sweep Zordon.
Yeah,
he's just a floating head. He can't do all the maintenance.
All we see is the floating head. Maybe he's a little guy in a wheelchair. He's got a diaper on.
Maybe.
Plus, like Alpha 5,
he's drooling in the back.
Alpha 5 was a little out there. Someone had to keep him in line.
Okay.
Hey, Alpha 5.
Yeah. But it was just I remember Billy.
I had no idea.
Billy being the guy I
vaguely remember that, believe it or not,
because he was the one I identified with, and then just seeing him in the sequel, all of a sudden he becomes the janitor. He's the guy who's on the sidelines going, "Go team! I'm rooting for you. I wish I could be out there with you."
But they just couldn't let him go.
I'm just happy the production can still give me a paycheck.
He was just some kind of like fan favorite-ish, and they didn't want to let him go. Is that it? They were afraid they lost Billy, then like no one would watch. The 5-year-olds would just be like,
"Hey man,
wasn't he the White Ranger?"
You know what? You know what? I wouldn't have watched.
I didn't watch. I chose early on to not watch. Mm-hmm. All right, so she says, "What do you guys think about that, Bryan Cranston as Zordon?" We kind of covered it a little bit earlier, well, quite a bit actually. So we're going to keep it moving. But she says, if you would want to cast a Power Rangers movie with today's actors, who would you cast as the various Power Rangers and Zordon? That's all for me this week. Have a great show, Steph.
Tyler Lautner, I hear, needs work.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for the email, Steph.
Teenage heroes. I think we gotta watch more CW.
You know what? Let's just defer to the guys over at Marvel who do such a great job at casting, and
well, that's
let
the thing
them field
too.
this question.
I feel like, maybe I'm not. Ed makes a good point with saying like, we don't watch enough young actors stuff. I'm probably some kid on the 100, some other kid on Arrow, some
kid from the Vampire Diaries,
absolutely, some kid from the Vampire Diaries.
Legends of Tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Wait, the guy and the girl, the three people on Shannara Chronicles.
Right.
That whole cast.
That whole cast. Everybody
just plug them in. You know what? That works.
That works.
That works.
You
just need an Asian to play Trina and a black. No, there might be a black guy. Anyway.
Just get Supergirl, Grant Gustin from Flash.
Yeah.
Just take one or two from each show.
Actually,
that's it.
Grant Gustin's Billy. Stephen Amell could be Tommy.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to do my Power Rangers movie, which takes place about 30 years after the last adventure. And so we got Robert De Niro, or let's just go all old. It's Robert De Niro, Morgan Freeman.
I mean, William Shatner.
William Shatner.
Speaking of fan films that aren't really fan films,
right? Yeah.
Did you see that?
That one Power Rangers short?
Yeah, with James Vanderbeek.
Where it's the studio Saban kind of shut down.
Yeah,
and then they let him bring it back.
It was the guys. Who,
it was really good.
Yeah, it was very good.
I was like, I'd watch this dark, fucking miserable, fucking Power Rangers.
It was like the people who made Dredd making a Power Rangers movie, an R-rated Power Rangers.
All of a sudden, it had gravitas, and I was like, what? And a Vanderbeek of all things.
Well, maybe that's something that they're going to have to consider now.
Well, that kind of
people have been watching Power Rangers for a long friggin' time.
Well, what the interesting thing is that it is probably the thing that fueled them to make the movie that they're making now, but they're not making a movie that's that dark and mature. They're definitely making a movie that's probably more in line with the true thing.
Yeah.
But it's interesting
they're not going to mess with the property.
But they really weren't pursuing it until that whole thing happened with this little fan film that we were just talking about, and it became this whole big hullabaloo because they took it down, but it had gone viral basically, like online. So like all these people now were shitting on Saban, like, yo, that's fucked up that you took it down. That you So Saban was like, okay, put it back up. We got no problem with it. And then they went right into production on getting a fucking
let's use the fanaticism for that as a way of making a few bucks.
Well, for them it showed that they probably could do something,
right.
So which is cool. It's always a good day when a fan.
Right. If there's that much interest, then we should make one.
Exactly. I think they were very surprised to see that.
I'm having way too much fun reading this Power Rangers Wikipedia page. We got to move on.
Yeah, well, there's not much to move on to, Ed.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh. And we are way over time as well.
Yeah, it was a long one today.
Mm-hmm. It was a little lengthy.
Yeah. A lot of stuff.
You might want to try and do some editing on this one.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take out everything that you say and everything that you say, and it's going to be just me.
Okay.
I'm talking to myself.
That's fine.
Which would be kind
but
of
you'll
funny.
have to start paying us now.
You see, I'm not doing it. Yeah. See, I'm not doing it.
Glad I hired you.
Because then it's like you're sitting here for nothing. You might as well you should get paid for it.
Right.
I understand.
I'm glad I hired you as my agent, Bob.
See?
That was a smart
So
business.
you keep us on air and we don't get paid because at least we get some notoriety.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You get something out of it.
Yeah. Or you start paying us and we'll just be here as a buffer for you, and then people can pay to listen to half a conversation.
But thanks to everyone who emailed in.
Yeah, thanks for the crew for emailing in.
Yes, those really short and sweet emails.
It was good. It was good this week.
Our thoughts and prayers are with our buddy Dom.
As always.
Let's hope he doesn't work
too
hard.
He'll be back. And then that's it, really. Let's just wrap it up and wrap it out. Where can people find you, Ed?
At Edward O'Hare TBD.
On the Twitters. Bob?
At Bob WTPC.
On the Twitters. And I'm on the Twitters, too, at Wicked Theory. You can find us at wickedtheory.com. Send us emails at wicked...
podcast at wickedtheory.com.
Thank you. Okay. All right. That's it. That's all we got. That's it. I'm done. We're done.
All right, fine. We're done.
Okay, fine. Bob, it's on you.